What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Beyond the Gray Media. Josh here, checking into your living room, your truck bed, wherever you are watching this, man. Glad you found me. Hope that you're doing great. We're talking about a movie that has to do with the devil. Tonight, we are talking about from Second Sight, the brand new 4K, The Devil's Candy from 2017. Now, we're going to break this movie down. We're going to talk about what I love about the movie first, and then we'll kind of get into the release and kind of what's packed in with goodies. Just right off the top, this is a striking release from Second Sight. Pretty much, I own almost all of the Second Sight releases. There's a couple that I was just like, if they're not like horror related, I didn't pick them up. But I try to buy most of the Second Sight releases, and this one was actually sent to me from Mike and Deb at themovieroom.com as a review copy. So thank you so much. It helps that I already really enjoyed this movie. And I think for some people, picking this thing up on 4K is going to be their very first, viewing of this movie. I watched this when it came out on streaming, and then I bought this, was it Scream Factory that I've got in there, the Blu-ray. And there's a few cool things about this movie. It is just right off the top a little bit milquetoast and generic. I've heard some people say that this is a disturbing film. I'm not one of those people. I've heard people say that the tension is so gripping and the suspense is so out of this world. I'm also not one of those people. But I think what it does, The Devil's Candy does a few things really well. It does have some tension, it does have some mood, but it has kind of like typical stories that you've heard before. It's a little bit cut and paste. What it has going for it as well is it is a popcorn flick at only like 84 minutes. This thing gets in, gets out. There's a joke there. It knows what it wants to be really quickly, and you don't have to spend a lot of time whether you liked it or you didn't. At least you're going to remember it. Because for one, it has one hell of a horror soundtrack. It's got a heavy metal soundtrack with the likes of Slayers and the Metallica, Pantera. Might have been some Morbid Angel in there. And it's a little cookie cutter as far as like the things that they're into and the shirts that they wear and the I'm a huge death metal fan. And I also like satanic metal. I like symphonic black metal. I like tech death metal. I like fucking slam. I like guttural metal. I like classic rock. I love all kinds of music, but with The Devil's Candy, you do get that kind of like heavy metal vibe, and you get a little bit of that Satanism in there too. And so anytime there's like that satanic panic in a film, I'm probably going to be into it because I really enjoyed that kind of period. But things it's going to remind you of, it's got the guy from Identity with John Cusack. What is that, like 2002? And he's playing this guy who hears voices, schizophrenic, and he lives in the middle of nowhere in a giant farmhouse in Texas. That's our main villain, if you will, who starts to hear these voices. The only way he can drown them out is by playing his Gibson Flying V red guitar and kind of drowning them out with heavy metal through his Marshall. And those scenes are really effective. He's just going just like sustained, just droning on that open E chord, letting it like kind of just run. And of course his parents are kind of like, it's too loud, you're too old, you need to fucking turn that shit down. And we get kind of like this Amityville horror effect in the film where he ends up having a hard time with his parents. The crosses inside the house kind of turn upside down, and he gets kind of possessed and taken over, and he commits some unspeakable acts, and all of a sudden the house is up for sale and we got new owners. Enter Ethan Embry, or Jesse's character. Jesse, his kind of annoying ass wife, and his daughter Zoe, who he has a really good relationship. They end up buying this house out there in looks like maybe West Texas. And yeah, they have to disclose like, hey man, there's been a murder in this place, but it's a really good deal. And he is a starving artist type. He is a painter. And he just really kind of wants to take care of his family. First and foremost, the relationship between him and his daughter needs to go without saying that it's very relatable. Anytime you have like kids that are really close with the father figure, like you automatically, you win some points with me, because my son, like he's been getting really into Danzig, and like he'll listen to Twisted Cain and like B-cut Danzig songs, and he'll just be rocking out, and he's going to be 9. So it's heartwarming to see like fathers sharing stuff with their kids. So I really enjoyed that aspect. Now, the problem that this film does have is it's kind of like a lot of those other kind of like possessed or haunted house kind of movies where it's really short, it's kind of sweet, and he starts to paint some things that are pretty typical, right? Like all of a sudden there's the Devil's Candy, which become children of the neighborhood, and he starts to kind of like funnel their fears and stuff through his painting because he can't sell anything until one day his butterflies turn into this crazy piece of art and he doesn't remember doing it. He blacks out and he becomes more and more possessed and more obsessed with telling these kids' story in this film. And that part is actually pretty effective, the way that the camera's kind of like cutting in and out really fast, and it's got this crazy kind of music. And I think the actual painting is actually pretty cool once it's revealed. And maybe it's the starving artist type and just the fact that I love art and I love to draw and I love music. It's relatable, man. It really works for me in that respect. And I just had a really good time kind of like enjoying the father-daughter aspect and kind of like trying to just survive. And all of a sudden, guess what happens? Dude comes home, wants to tell him that the only way to stop the voices is to play music. And that's kind of where this film, just goes into the third act. And it's got some suspense. It's more of a thriller than I would say straight up horror, because there's not a lot of death, or there's not a lot of dismemberment, there's not a lot of gore at all. But it is kind of like, kind of like cat and mouse type of a thriller, detective almost kind of movie in a way. But I actually really like it. I've watched it probably 4 or 5 times, and I actually just watched the Scream Factory before this thing was released, and I watched that. And because it's so short, but I don't know if it has a ton of rewatch value because it's a very simple story. But I do think that this thing right here, it's cool that they decided to choose this director, and put this movie out, because I don't think a lot of people watched it. So I'm going to definitely highly recommend this movie. Now let's open this thing up and talk about how it looks. Okay, so when you open it up, it does have the kind of open faced. You get a 4K disc that is region free, then you get a region B disc that a lot of the special features actually are on the 4K disc. So people that are not region free, you get to watch a lot of special features. And I watched a bunch of the interviews. I watched some of the music stuff and some of the how they came up with some of the painting style. There's hours of special features because Second Sight, of course, always fucking kills it. And then also on the inside, you get this booklet that's got like really cool kind of like art concept designs inside. It's like 115 pages, and it's just essay after essay of why The Devil's Candy was made and kind of why you should watch it. And that's actually pretty fascinating. And then of course you got the art cards. I think there's 5 or 6 of these things here. I don't know what to do with them. Do you put them up on your wall like some sort of psychopath? Do you frame these? Do you put them under a coffee table? I don't really know what they are, but they're in here. So people that love the art cards, they are there. And you can own this thing now. It's not super expensive. It's like $39. Get it at themovieroom.com right now and use my code BEYOND10. Add it to your collection, man. I actually think that, this is a pretty fun movie, pretty kind of like quaint and kind of like, I don't know, I would say dirty and almost kind of grimy movie, because it does have that metal undertone. You get Ethan Embry, who's usually kind of like the punching bag in a lot of like rom-coms, Can't Hardly Wait, Empire Records, Papa Giorgio in Vegas Vacation, right? And he's in here and he's kind of muscled up. He's got a beard, he's got long hair, and he's painting, and it's got all these kind of cool, like just swirling effects. The painting stuff is excellent. The music part is excellent. And I think that the lead, schizo guy does a pretty good job. The actress Zoe absolutely fucking kills it too when she's dealing with, wanting to get a guitar from this guy, and then all of a sudden there's a confrontation and she's kind of in a situation. And I think there is a little bit of pseudo-sexualism that's kind of wrapped up in this with the old guy and the, you know what I mean? He's wearing the red jumps. You can see what I'm saying if you've seen this movie. But still, 85 minutes, man. Just quick sit, get in, get out. I mean, I'm not going to say incredible because it is kind of stock, generic paint by numbers horror. But when I watched it, man, I was impressed because it is a vibe. It's fun. I think it's kind of trying to be like an 80s B movie in a way, and almost like a Trick or Treat kind of vibe in some spots. So yeah, I mean, I really enjoy it. And I thought the Second Sight release was pretty killer, man. So guys, you know what to do, man. If you're new here, like, comment, talk some shit down there, and then subscribe if you haven't. What do you want to see next? I'm kind of leaning into watching that new Night of the Living Dead, fucking based on the original film. I know it's on Fandango for like $5, and just trashing the absolute shit out of it. Or I shouldn't say that. I could love it. That could happen. It could just be a fucking God tier film. I also want to bash Scream 7 for my buddy Fernie and Joe out there. I want to just totally destroy that movie. It would suck if I really liked it, because I'm not a big fan of those films. I think the next thing I'm going to work on is I want to do a top 10 list, and I want to talk about horror films that everybody loves that I can't stand, and most of them are really popular films, and I just want to fucking trash something. I just got it in me, man. It's really warm out here. You can tell I'm kind of sweating. I'm in the garage. It's gonna be like 86 degrees, so I'm in the mood to just let it rip and just see what happens. Guys, I love you so much. Until the next one, cheers.